Okay. Make sure you have with you paper or iPad and Apple Pencil or stylus and tablet, something to work with. I have all my favorite pens except my most favorite. It's gone missing, but that's okay. It just gives me an excuse to buy more. I'm addicted to those Tombow brush pens on one side and like small on the other, but I love black. And that's okay. I have two other colors here. Doesn't always have to be a black pen. But I'm so happy you're here today. I have some tea. I get some water, whatever you like to drink at this hour on a Saturday. And I'm really hoping that this will be fun to draw in community and relax together. So set yourself up, hard surface, drawing paper, pen, or tablet. I'd love to hear if you want to hear like about how I use iPad at all in this session. I'll be using a lot of paper and pencil, but I also have my iPad if that's a want. Oh, and you love the Tombows too. Yeah, they're the best. I'd love to hear that in the chat if you want. If you're an iPad Procreate person, I can talk more about that. Or if you're not, I will totally just skip it. And then anytime, I'm not so great about reading the chat in the moment if I'm toggling between slides and different devices to draw. So if you want to unmute or say something, great. If you want to tweet out any drawings that you do today, awesome. I also have linked a Jamboard to the slide deck if you want to just share it kind of privately. I love Twitter and Instagram and all things social media. So if you don't want me to tweet it out or anything, I'll just put it on the Jamboard. I promise to keep that to just Cula Palooza. Palooza 21. Yes, I know. I like to use my finger with the iPad. You don't need to have a pen. And sometimes I just like the styluses because they feel like a pencil. I have more control because I'm used to writing with my pencil. But I didn't have an Apple Pencil for the longest time. But now that I do have one, I'm just always trying not to lose it. All right, we'll get started. It's 1:15. All right, thank you for choosing to come here and draw with me. I am so happy that you found us, and I hope you have paper, pencil, something to drink. Always take care of yourself and get up and do whatever you need to do. But I'm so happy you're here to draw with us. I'm going to start with a little bit who I am. I'm Kristin Welch. I go by Critty often. Most people call me Critty. You can call me either, Kristin or Critty. And I teach in LA. I'm an LUSD teacher, 3rd grade. I also am a math coach with the UCLA Math Project. And I see some friends in the house. Thank you for coming. And I'm going to start with my why I do what I do. This is me in 2nd grade. I love to draw on paper and just draw and follow my pencil around the paper. So while you're doing the session, please draw, please move that pencil around the paper, because this is me the first year I got detention. And I got detention 3 times for drawing in class. But why would you give this girl detention? I was new to where I moved in. I skipped a grade 2, so I didn't have that many friends. I'm also awkwardly young for my class, and I'm drawing in class. Drawing calms me down, and the teacher just said I wasn't paying attention. But later in my life, I learned about sketchnoting and how if we can take in information and attach it to an image, or if we can keep actively moving, it can lower anxiety, it can calm our nervous system. There's so many benefits to drawing that as soon as I learned what it was called, I was like, I'm going to advocate for this for the rest of my life. And I got even more passionate last year. My son, who was in 8th grade, I got called in before we went virtual. I got called in because he was drawing in class. And I just said, this is now, that wasn't 2020, but now it's 2021 and I'm still on the rampage because we still will be going back to the classroom. And I do not want kids to get detention for drawing. 3 times. And that was just time 1. But for me, drawing is fun and stress-free. So today, I want anything that you do, any marks that you make, especially in this virtual context, no one but you is going to see it unless someone in your house sees it. And so there's really nothing holding you back. I hope you will just relax and let that pencil move around the page. So here's kind of our agenda today. We're going to start with some SEL warm-ups and like little breaks that I like to do with my class. And my slide deck is kind of full of lots and lots of activities, and I hope I don't move too fast. So if you're still working on one and I've moved on to another, and your brain wants to keep finishing that, but listen, do you, right? I'm not going to give you detention ever. So but I want you to have some things and tools that you can use either at home when you're just relaxing on a Saturday and Sunday, or when you're in the classroom with your kiddos and something just feels like you need to just take it down. So that's what we'll do. We'll do some SEL warm-ups, but then we'll also do some Zentangles and mandalas, which can kind of like, you can kind of get into a meditative flow state with some of those and really take your time with them. And then I'll talk a little bit about sketchnoting. It's a lot for the time that we have together, but you have the resources and I'm super available on social media, so reach out anytime. So whenever I get started, and this is something I often have to do because I'm kind of an anxious person, I like to remind myself to like just ground my feet on the ground and stomp them. And connect myself to my place. So I just did that, and you can do that too. Sometimes putting your hand on your chest and your belly and just getting present in your body is kind of a really nice way to start. And then just notice if you're carrying anything around like that's tense, just let it melt. I know I sometimes need to remind myself to relax my jaw or take the tongue off the roof of my mouth and just relax my teeth a little, melt my shoulders, but whatever's calling out to you, melt that, breathe, and just imagine and connect. Okay, I'm gonna get I'm not gonna get actually anything first. I'm gonna do something that's super easy and we're just gonna use our finger. We don't even have to get a pencil out, but you can make this a tracing activity and a breathing activity, but this is like how easy it is to get started. Just kind of like take your hand and you can maybe draw with your non-dominant hand on your dominant hand and inhale and go up your finger and exhale, go down your finger. And let's just trace our hand once. And this is so easy. Like if an app doesn't work in class, let's just trace our hand for a second, or if we need a break, or we're just getting in the morning and we've got some sleepy heads because of the time change, I do this. And with the littles, they like to trace their hand, and then it becomes something that you can kind of turn into a writing activity too. But that's just a super easy way to get started. But now I'm going to ask you to maybe get a pencil. I'm going to get a pencil. And they keep talking about this today, about how we need to fill our cups first if we are going to serve our kiddos and be in a place where we're learning in community and not reacting or carrying too much with us. We need to fill our cups. So to get started, let's see if I can do this easily. I'm going to have us draw. I'll try this. If it doesn't work, I'll go back to my slides. Oh, of course. Wait, hold on. Sometimes my Elmo decides not to work like it is right now, but it was working a minute ago. So let me try that one more time. Okay, let me try this. I think it's going to work now. And we're going to just draw a cup together. Here we are. Okay, so holler if you can't see my pen. Okay, so let's draw a cup. Just make a little oval. And sometimes I just like doing line by line drawings because it takes some of the anxiousness out of it, right? For people that think they can't draw. And you can draw it your own way. You're the boss of your drawings. But I just made a cup by making an oval and then a curved line. And I like to just leave a little space for the handle and then fill in those spaces. And my favorite happy face, I'm a huge Hello Kitty fan. If you can guess from my Instagram, I'm at Hello Kitty. But if you keep your eyes far apart and like Hello Kitties and in the middle, it kind of makes it cute. So I'm going to make a cute cup for mine. And I want to fill it up with things that are like, you could write actual things like that have been small wins for you. Like I taught my cat not to scratch my leg anymore. That's really a big one. He keeps his nails in, so I'm not going to do any nails out. But like, what are some small wins in your life? That fills our cup, small wins. Also, like, what are things that we love to do? For me, drawing is one of them. So what are our passions? Put some of those in your cup. Like, I love drawing with you right now. I'm so happy to be here. We published on Book Creator. That was a huge win. I can put that one in for large wins. Got to celebrate those too. And then besides our passions, we might want to put in some things that help us grow. So maybe I'll use a plant to help me remember that that's growth. But things that help me grow are things like QLA, our PLNs, right? And just community. So maybe I'll make a lot of you, and I'm not going to put you in little squares. But I want to put all of those kinds of things in my cup. And then this drawing, I could keep adding words or pictures. And this could just be something that I tack around to remind me of things that bring me joy. I'm going to go back to my slides, hopefully. Before I go back, anybody want to hold any up? You don't have to, but I might ask at the end, just so you know. I keep forgetting we are recording. Okay. So that's a little exercise. That's fun. Another one, I'm not going to do this with you, but I'll talk about it and you can kind of imagine how it would go, is kind of a breathing activity. Again, you could start by stomping your feet and getting centered and breathe. And then you just get still and maybe have them number 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and do 5 things you see, 4 things you hear around you and wait and notice those. 3 things you can smell. Oh my gosh, so cute, Michelle. I love your cup. Fill it up. Oh, that's so good. And 2 things that you can touch, like, textures. And then 1 good or just true thing about yourself. Doesn't have to be anything extraordinary, but just like you're safe, you're here, you're drawing. And the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is a really good way to ground everyone, and you can change the 5 things. Oh, thank you, Darlene. I love it. Love it. All right. This one, how's your day going? You might have done some of these before, like in a workshop, you know, pick which cat are you, pick which which thing you are, like make a barometer. If you teach older kiddos, you can say, you know, draw your most used emoji and share it with a friend and tell why. In breakouts, it's kind of fun, a fun SEL like drawing activity. Nice icebreaker for grown-ups. But right now, I'm going to have us draw some emojis together. I know I'm going to keep switching back and forth and torturing myself like this, but it's great. I can do it. All right. I think it's going to work. I know it is. Okay. So we're going to draw some emojis together right now. And I've done this with my class. I've also done which one doesn't belong, and you just limit it to 4 if you're a mathy person in here. Fun activity. But let's just make an array of 9 circles. So 3 by 3. And breathe the whole time. And you don't have to do the ones I do if you don't want to, but I'm going to just do them quickly and simply, and you can follow along if you want. So if we could start with this one, call him number 1, the kind of like sleepy or bored dude. We could do number 2, could just be, you know, you're a little happy person. Again, that's like 3 straight lines, and now we have 3 curved lines, and they're so different in emotion. If you have friends like mine in this virtual setting, you might often get 1 small eye and 1 big eye. And you might know what's coming next, a little smiley face with a tongue coming out. That can be 3. For number 4, I'll do one of my favorites is this one, 2 heart eyes and a smile. So just 2 hearts and a little smile. And if you forgot something, or you might see this one. That's like we're going to make 3 ovals and fill in 2 of them, and then make an oval with teeth. And now we've got the eek, eek one. He'll be number 5. You could do 2 eyes and make the 2 at the top, and a little straight mouth, and that's the eye roll one. Or maybe it's just that kind of a day. And you could do those 2 carrots or little V's that go in, and then some crying, and have that LOL one. Okay, that could be 7. Thank you. All right, and then how about this is a favorite. Make 2 kind of bigger ones and just shade them in. We're going to do the sunglasses guy. That seems to be, do you get that one a lot? People send that one a lot. I like that. Maybe it's just because I'm in LA, but. Okay, and with a big smile. He's cool. All good. We need to leave room for people to be kind of mad too. So I'm going to do the mad one. So we'll just make this, and we won't do the cursing one. We'll just make like a big frown, and then there is like in that one some smoke coming out of his nose, but whichever, that's 9. So now you should have an array of emojis, and you can ask your class, and maybe I'll just ask you if you're feeling one of these today, which one, and maybe put that in the chat. I can't see you at the moment. Let me move you over. Sorry. Okay, there you are. Oh, good. We've got some 2s and 4s. I like that. No 9s so far. Okay, good. Yay. Love it. Nice. Okay. So, and in the class, of course, on a Monday, you might get a big range because we like to have honesty, right? You can feel however you want. All right, let's, I'm gonna, feel like I should use different paper. There we go. I just switched my paper. This is where I'm really gonna miss my my Tombow because it flows. That brush pen, if you have one, I recommend it. We're gonna do a little warm up now and just kind of get us breathing and drawing and moving our pens together. So I'm gonna have you start with just some loop-de-loops as you breathe in and out, like just breathing. And you can have your pen totally follow your breath if you want, like inhale and then exhale. But this is a good exercise anytime, just getting your pen warmed up. Like it's a nice warm up. And if you keep doing these, it's really actually beautiful if you fill the whole page with those. Now I'm going to have us do what's called the box breathing, 4, 4, 4, 4. And so you'll start and you can inhale for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, and then pause and just make another box. So inhale, hold it, exhale, hold. And I'm going to do this one without talking. Okay, I love that one. You can just fill it with squares. I'm going to put a dot here, and we're just going to do inhale and exhale in a figure 8. And you don't need to do all of these with your students or at one time. Yes, it definitely helps with panic attacks. I'll talk about that. Okay, and then you can inhale on one side and exhale on another side. And keep going if you want. And you can just let it grow. And that also can become beautiful. You could fill a page with those if you wanted. You could keep making them if you wanted to. And all of these things we can take into the next few drawing activities. We're kind of making like a drawing menu, if you will, of things that we could do to calm ourselves. So in the next few drawing activities in the agenda, we had Zentangles and mandalas. And if you're making a Zentangle or a mandala, you choose something and you just kind of keep doing it. Mandalas kind of are circular, but Zentangles can start anywhere and you can find them. But maybe for a moment, we'll just make a menu of things while I'm sharing this dot cam, and then I'll take it back over to my slides. So in a mandala, often it will go circularly, but we'll just make it linear for now. We can be flexible. And my favorite thing you might see in a lot of things that I draw is these little like bumps. And again, relax while you're making these. That's important. And I've seen this motif a lot in Japanese art. It's like waves. And when you mandala or do Zentangles, you kind of just have to decide once and then you can keep doing it. So that is how it can be so soothing and relaxing. You might also see different kinds of petals, and a really fun activity if you want to make mandalas with your students is to just go on a scavenger hunt, go get a leaf from something that you're allowed to take the leaf from, or bring back the little plant if you're allowed, and then mimic that leaf. So I have succulents around me, and my succulents kind of have a leaf that looks like this. Or maybe I went out and I found just like some blades of grass. Okay, blades of grass could go all the way around a mandala. Or maybe I have, you know, I have this one plant that is circular like this. I got it at Trader Joe's. So I could have that be in my menu of things that I might put around my mandala. The leaf and petals are very common, and then people can decorate inside of them, like maybe inside of each one has another little flower inside. Okay. And I'm going to stop for a moment and just go back to the slides, but you keep filling your page with whatever moves you. Okay, sorry. All right, we're back. So that was kind of, here's a scrap of, to remind you of what we just did using nature. But I want to talk about Zentangles. Zentangles is something that I used to do when I taught middle school, and my middle schoolers just loved it. And they made the most awesome, epic things. The rule is, you know, it's like a great thing for in the margin, and you can pick like just one motif and teach it, or they can do their own thing. Common checkers was always coming up everywhere, different kinds of checkers patterns. But it's kind of like what we were just doing, but there's no rules. This one I made when I was sitting next to my daughter was wearing paisley pants. And these two designs were kind of like in her pants, but I just isolated them and drew them. And this is actually a drawing exercise I got off Pinterest, where you start with the, here I can annotate, you start with the crossed lines, and then you kind of just fill it in with stripes. Super fun, but anything goes with Zentangles. And if you choose one, you just keep going with it, and then it's kind of like something that you can do when you need to doodle or calm down. This is another one where I just started with one swirl. It's kind of circular. It kind of reminds me of breathing, and then you just let it grow. And you don't change it. That's the whole piece of paper, is just big swirls on the right. Or that this was inspired by like Christmas ribbon, starting with one, and then I just kind of kept trying to go out from the other. But having these slides is kind of a springboard if you wanted to try one. Just pick one area and start there and do it your own way. And that's kind of the most relaxing way to do it. But when all else fails, checkers. I would do more, but I feel like we're low on time. So I'm gonna keep moving. But when we make these kinds of things, or mandalas and Zentangles, to me, they kind of go together. Like our brains find looking at things like succulents or fractals, things with a Fibonacci sequence, just our brains love patterns. And so sometimes just focusing in on one, on just the beauty of nature can inspire us to then try to mimic it in a mandala. And it doesn't need to be exactly like it, but look at the beautiful shape of the petals on this succulent. And that kind of shape with the green in the middle, that could inspire a whole mandala, and you could just grow it from there. So you don't have to make it complicated, but somebody said this helps with panic attacks. And hi, my name is Kristin or Kitty, and I love to make mandalas. Like as soon as school is closed and I didn't know what was going on, I just started making mandalas all the time. And then I searched it on Google Trends. And if you look at like, when do people search terms, you know, like, so on March 15th to the 21st was the highest it had been like for a year. That's when I did a 1 year. And so it was like everyone was interested in them at the same time. And this is one of the mandalas I made on my iPad, or these kinds of drawings I love to do on my iPad, which kind of just are mirror images and refract and kind of become a mandala really quickly. Nice. Michelle is like ready to just go next level. Please post. She's got her coloring book and her Zentangle book right there. Yeah. I started thinking about mandalas, and just like our school had this virtual calming room. And then I was like, oh yeah, you know, like I remember seeing, it's not like, it's like it had been there all the time, right? But because I really needed it in that moment and it made me calm to draw, and it's one of my passions that fills my cup, I just started doing it all the time. And then in the virtual calming room that my school district gave us, there was this mandala room that you can go in. And so then I was like, oh my gosh, I can just click on these and get ideas for more layers. Because I think when you make a mandala, you just start in the center and think about, you could just make one circle and keep growing circles out. There's no rules. You make the rules. I say the rule is, if you're going to do it, just please relax. but you don't have to if you don't want. You do you. But I absolutely love making them. And these are some that I made back when I was teaching in the classroom. And every kid, if you make that rule, just start in the middle. Every single kid's was different. Every kid colors them the way they want to color them. And we did it on the sidewalk, and it was just such a fun community building activity. So I put those slides in there to remind you, when we get back, it might even be safe to do socially distance. Like, you go work on it and then your friend can go work on it, you know? I don't know how it's going to be, but yes, and we're going to do this. I threw some slides in here of just like, this is me in March, and then this is May the 4th, still making mandalas on the iPad. iPad Procreate, I don't remember I'm going to talk about it just a little, but if you are a Procreate user, you can do all these awesome things. And if you just go to that little wrench and then the canvas, you can edit the drawing guide. And this is kind of just my step-by-step with my messy circles. And here's a step-by-step that's clean, but you can play with symmetry, and you can make it rotational. Like, it's just super duper fun to do. I highly recommend it. And then I just kept drawing and drawing. My iPad is just full of these. I can't stop. But then I had to, because it was March 14th, I also opened a TikTok account, and Lisa Beeler, who's in here, she has a TikTok too.
Classy, bougie, ratchet,
on Procreate, you can animate your drawing or save it as an animation, and then in TikTok you can put it to music. So this is another happy pastime for me. Super duper fun. But another thing, if you are an Instagram person, you can also kind of make mandalas using this picture joiner, and just mirror reflect one image, which I do a lot. So like, I know it's not drawing, but you can draw on these pictures. So here's one dog, but then you can turn it into 4 dogs, and now you've got kind of like a mandala. And I don't know that I'm going to have a lot of time to go into sketchnoting, because I feel like, is our time almost up? Are we over at 2? We have 10 minutes? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, good. I think I do have time a little bit. We're going to capture some ideas by hand. And I absolutely love sketchnoting because you are capturing those ideas and just making them come out of your hand. And this street artist does it better than no other to show us like how much you can do with 6 lines. This is Stick, the mural artist. So on your paper, why don't you try to make a stick man? You just have to start with a circle. And I think I can annotate. Okay, I can't. That's okay. Um, you can start with the circle and then just take 2 lines down from the circle. And you can decide what he's doing with his 2 arms. They can do anything you want. And then go across down here. And then just like Hello Kitty, you know, I'm noticing the eyes are kind of like below the middle line and far apart. No mouth or anything, or maybe like we were doing when we drew the emojis. But drawing people really simply in your notes, sometimes doing this activity with kiddos, and then if you're learning about characters or something, they feel more empowered to show their thinking, and they're not thinking so much about how to draw it and being frustrated. It's just 6 lines, and try it a bunch of different ways and relax and play. But I've been sketchnoting with my class since I became an advocate for it, since I learned about it from Ann Cosma in like maybe 2015. I don't know. I went to a workshop and I was like, wow, this is what it's called. I do this. And yes, I'm a believer. And yes, now everyone can do it. And then I found this sketchnote tips from Carol Ann McGuire, and everything's linked in my speaker notes. I shove a lot of things in the speaker notes of these slides. And I asked her if I could redraw them. But this is kind of like the handout, the mother of all handouts that I've handed out to every class since then, and adults too. Because I just think, you know, you take it, it's got all the sections, it's a 1-pager, and you can take it a section at a time with the class and do a guided drawing like we were doing a few minutes ago, you know, like, oh, let's just, you know, you can start by just copying. That's what we all do. We start by just copying and then take it from there. And I've provided like a lot of my sketch notes that you're welcome to, you know, use, copy anything in these slides, use it wherever you want. To like, this is just me practicing, like this is me practicing different banners or different talking bubbles. But Sylvia Duckworth has been kind of like the lifesaver for rainy day recesses or when we had fires around. My class could do this for a half hour if I would let them like have that much time. And like, let's just draw. She's got this thing called Sketchnote Fever. It's all done for you. And like every single category of thing, winter, animals, banners, fonts. So just like all those categories like on that handout, but it's on YouTube. So let me see if I could do this. And it goes faster than kids can draw. All day too. The nice music. Okay, take it back over. But that is linked here, and just so fun and easy. But to just go through what we've our journey here. We don't forget to do all the things we've talked about. Just get that pencil and doodle. It's okay, and relax and breathe. And then we did some SEL activities to remind ourselves of some of the good things we need to do and some of the ways we can connect to ourselves and others, and the fun of untangling and mandalas. And I gave you some resources to sketch note to remember. And more resources in here. If you want to follow any of the people that I like to follow that like to sketchnote, they're here. And what really changed my life were these bottom two things. I don't know why I put them on the bottom if they changed my life, but these TED Talks really justify the practice of sketchnoting in the classroom. There's so many books and resources and fun people to follow, and these will take you to the books. And please follow me or share anything that you've done. I did put a Jamboard on the last slide. It's right here. I can try to put it in the chat right now. And if you want to share your drawing privately between us, this little drawing community, please share it out there. Or if you want to tweet it out or put it on Instagram, please do it up here. But thank you so much for coming. It's been a true pleasure. Now I'll stop recording. I want to see everyone's stuff. I'll stop my share too.